How's everybody doing? So before I start talking about big data, let me ask a question to you first. Has anybody here been to Chillicothe, Missouri ever? Or anybody from Missouri? And I can't see y'all because of the thing. So do you know the significance of that town? Shout it out. And that is the home of sliced bread. In 1923, they invented sliced bread in Chillicothe, Missouri. And it was really cool because they said, you know what? This is going to help the bread industry because now people are eating a lot more bread. It got so bad that during World War II, they were contemplating having restrictions on the sale of machinery that slices bread because they said, oh, we got rations, people are eating too much bread. So what's this got to do with big data? So you guys all know this. I'm sure you're at this conference, you've been talking internally about big data, right? And it's the next best thing since sliced bread. Now, that connotation can go one of two ways, right? So if it truly is the next best thing since sliced bread is pretty awesome. Because, you go to Europe, they don't have sliced bread as much to make you tear the bread apart, and you have to make your own sandwiches. It's a pain in the butt. But if you go it the other way and say, because you know the other connotation, right? Somebody comes up and says, oh, man, this is really cool. It's the next best thing since sliced bread. But then you find out, no, not really. It's still just a hard old baguette. It's just a pain in the butt to eat. So as you do this big data thing, and as I travel around talking to a lot of clients, one of the dangers is that we get so enthralled with this technology that we don't understand what holistically we are trying to do, right? So what does it really mean for us to do big data? So this is my chance, because I think I'm still looking for the analyst that came up with the phrase big data, because it's such a big topic. So raise your hand if you're the analyst that wrote the first paper on this thing, right? But here's how you sit there and think about how you do this big data thing without getting lost, without making investment decisions that don't pay out, right? You think about it as a journey. You think about it as a journey, and it's an aspirational state. So for the way I think of big data, it's not a technology, it's not one project, right? But an aspirational state for where in your organization, you want to be able to look at all the data, right? But incrementally, it's all about doing more data. What can I do more next time than I've done before? But the end state, right, is that you're able to ask questions you weren't able to ask before, right? That you're able to use analytic methods augmented, so more data. Everybody knows this. I mean, a lot of the math behind what we talk about with big data, this is statistics that's been around since Norbert Wiener in the 40s. But we all know that if you have more data, you have more confidence in the output that you're putting together. So, based on that supposition, and we'll say, look, big data equals more data, equals being able to ask new questions. Think about it as a journey, right? So understand where you want to be, how you want to transform your organization, where you think you can go, right? You want to have a smarter organization. And on this journey, there are a couple of things to keep in mind, right? So the first thing on this journey, it's all about discipline and understanding where you are going. One of the dangers with this thing is that you wind up getting enamored by shiny objects and doing projects for project's sake. This isn't just negative against the new technologies. I mean, this is tremendous stuff, right? I mean, they have me going after the NASA guy, and I'm thinking, how am I going to compete with that, right? But that's one of the tricks to this, because as you go down this path, it's raw with problems where you can say, oh, yeah, this was really cool, I did it, but how does it fit relative to the rest of my architecture? That's a big thing. The other thing you have to worry about, so I did a calculation. I said, how much investment is actually going into big data? So in venture capital money, last count that I saw was about $2.6 billion. That's the equivalent of a Navy destroyer coming after your wallet. Now, count IBM and SAP and Oracle and Microsoft and all the other vendors, we probably got another $3 to $4 billion bucks, maybe more. That's an aircraft carrier coming after your wallet saying, check this out, this is the next really great thing, and you should do something with it. So if you don't think about this in terms of what is the capability that I really need, right? But all with the constant notion in your mind, and we do this in our personal lives, right? For me, at the end of the day, I want to be a great father, a great husband, and have a successful career, and everything I do is going to have to map to it, right? But then along the way, I make decisions, and I have to say, you know what, I got this offer from this company, or I have a chance to buy this car, should I go buy it? Is it on the path or is it not? So a couple other tricks. Understand that any of these technologies do not live in a silo. Even if you started as a small project and it lives off to the side, the thing that you don't want to happen is that this thing becomes a science fair project, which is great if you're entering science fair, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a part of a broader architecture. When we sit there and get together 3 to 5 years from now and say, oh, what happened with big data? We'll all have this discussion. It's baked into our architecture. This is what we do. So define that architecture. And then the last part, and I'll leave you with this. At the end of the day, for any organization or any person, this is an investment decision, guys. Right? So as much as we think that these technologies are really cool, the real trick to this is the discipline. If I invest $1 in this technology, I have to get $1.50, $2 back. Right? And you know, previous technologies, a lot of folks are experienced. You know when projects fail, when you say, oh, well, where's the business case? What was the success metric? So that's the trick. In 5 minutes, hopefully that's enough information. Everybody goes out and gets successful on the big data journey. I've got a session at 11 o'clock, and I'll give it to you in more detail. I'll even show you a picture of that aircraft carrier that's coming after your money. So thanks for your time, guys.